This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Hey, welcome back to Midweek Politics. I'm David Pakman. Joining us on the phone is Joan Heffington, who's running for governor in the state of Kansas. She also has a primary coming up on August 3rd. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I need to get this question out front right away, which is the only other Kansas interview that we've done is with Shirley Phelps Roper from the Westboro Baptist Church in Kansas several times, and her interviews are always really popular. What do you think of her church?
I have not really researched their church. I've heard things about them in the news, but I couldn't give you an opinion there.
But you must know about the whole God hates fags things, right?
God hates fags.
That's their whole. You've never heard of the West?
I've heard of what they do, and when they're out there,
it's despicable, right?
Excuse me?
It's despicable, right?
Well, like I said, I know that they were picketing the funerals and that sort of thing, and that's pretty amazing.
But you don't think it's despicable? You think it's okay?
Like I said, I can't give you an opinion because I haven't researched everything that they do.
The term saying God hates fags, is that acceptable?
No.
It's not? Okay.
No.
So what does it mean that you want a biblical and constitutional reason to exist for the passage of any new laws? Explain that a little.
Well, most of that goes back to, we follow the Ten Commandments, basically. Those are on the halls of justice. But where are the two that Jesus gave us, which is love God and love your neighbor as yourself?
And you think laws should be made based on that?
Well, I think the more we keep our laws like God's laws, the better off we're going to be.
And what about separation between church and state? Doesn't that violate it?
Actually, I think, that was a law that was tacked onto a bill in 1959 by then Senator Lyndon Baines Johnson.
But it's a law now, right?
It is but nobody really read it. And to me, we need to be repealing some of the laws that are out there. And I think we've been going down the tubes ever since that one went in.
So which laws other than that, what laws would you repeal?
Well, there's definitely one that we're seeing out here that's a problem. Public Law 95-79, Title 50, Chapter 32, Section 1520, Chemical and Biological Warfare Program.
1520 or 1521?
1520.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, the use of human subjects will be allowed for the testing of chemical and biological agents by the U.S. Department of Defense, accounting to congressional committees with respect to the experiments and studies.
Okay, I think I understand what you mean with that one. But what about, for example, with abortion? Do abortion laws fit in under biblical reasoning?
Well, I think so. I think, I am against abortion. I feel a woman has a choice, and that choice is, do I want to keep my baby and take care of it, or do I want to give it up for adoption? Because, once God causes the sperm and the egg to unite, it's His will. You have to let it happen.
Are people able to prevent pregnancy, or it's just God's will? No. God decides.
Excuse me?
Does God just decide when people get pregnant, or can people prevent pregnancy?
People can prevent it. Yes. Yeah. But once it happens, I think you have to let it happen. And if you don't, you will be disciplined. I think you'll be disciplined down the line.
Like, how do you go to hell, or how would you be disciplined?
Well, only God will determine that.
But what's your sense?
For instance, I've known two people who are very close to me who had abortions when they were young and then were not able to have children, and they regretted that.
So
terribly.
this isn't the first time I've heard this. There are many religious people, I guess we can say, who believe that if you have an abortion, you then get punished by not being able to have kids. So you've seen that happen.
Sometimes you're disciplined in that way.
You've seen it happen.
Yes.
Wow. So would you repeal? Would you try to repeal? Would you try to make abortions illegal?
I think there are like I said, there are only two instances. I've had to go around with my lieutenant governor candidate because he is totally pro-life.
We'll get to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are two instances. I told him, I know you're 100%, but I'm 98. I said, and the two cases would be, say for instance, emergency situation. A woman is in a car accident.
Of course.
And she's the baby is. There's just a lot of injury, and you have to take the baby to save the mother's life. It will be a rare occurrence, but it will happen.
Of course.
Yeah. The other one is if they know ahead of time that a baby is going to be extremely malformed.
Right.
And to me, then a woman should have a choice there. And maybe she wants to go ahead and have it, and she thinks it can be corrected after it's born. But to me, normally the man is not the one who has to take care of that child for the rest of his life.
Well, we're assuming a lot there, but I know of instances where that's happened. Let's get to your running mate, though. Mark Hollick is his name, correct?
Yes.
So Mark, actually, I read a response he wrote to a press release. I have it here in front of me. Mm-hmm. He seems to be happy about the killing of Dr. George Tiller in Kansas. Correct me if I'm wrong. He seems happy about it.
I don't know what you're referring to. I have not seen that.
It's a letter. It's a response to the Heartland Transformations press release, which was mourning the death of the murder of the doctor. And he essentially says, one dies, thousands mourn, thousands die, no one mourns. He says that we should essentially not be mourning the death of George Tiller.
Well, I don't think that actually makes him happy. I think you're assuming something there. I haven't seen that, so I couldn't give you an opinion. I'd have to.
You haven't seen a letter where your lieutenant governor is indicating that he believes the death of a doctor is a good thing. You haven't seen that letter.
I have not seen that actual letter, no.
Has he ever indicated to you that that's his opinion?
No, never.
So don't you think you should know that if he's your lieutenant governor?
I should know what?
That's his position, that he believes that the murder of a doctor who was practicing within the law is a good thing. That seems important for the principal candidate to know.
Well, I think again, you might be reading a little too much in there, because when you say it's a good thing, did he actually say it's a good thing, or are you assuming that? You see, I think you're reading too much into that.
Well, it seems between the two of us, I'm the only one who's read the letter, though.
Well, like I said, I can't give you an opinion right now. I'd have to read it.
Okay, well, please do submit it to us in writing if you care to, and we will let the audience know.
Okay, and that letter is dated when?
The letter is dated, let's see. I just have the text. I cut out the date, but I see very clearly. I have his email. I have all the information in front of me.
If you'll give me the date of that letter, I'll ask him about it. And
we will do that.
I will get back to you.
Our producer is making a note to do that.
Okay.
Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.